All right, today we're headed to a small town in Spain. We're going to dig into a local legend that, well, let's just say it might be more than just a story. This is the tale of the dead bride of Salabrena. You know, we all love a good ghost story, right? Something to spook your friends with. But what happens when the story stops being a story? When you find yourself walking right into it?
Okay, let's set the scene. Our story kicks off in a place that honestly looks like a little slice of paradise.
Picture this. During the day, Salabrena is exactly what you'd expect. It's a gorgeous Spanish town, right? All whitewashed houses, twisty little streets. It's like a postcard. But then night falls, and everything changes. It gets weirdly cold, this unnatural chill, and the town just goes silent. The streets empty out, and you get this feeling that something is very, very wrong. So, into this strange little town walks our main guy, Mateo. He's just 19, an architecture student from Madrid. He's there for a project, studying the old church and houses, but he almost immediately picks up on something off. The second the sun starts to go down, everyone just disappears. Poof! The streets are completely empty. It's like a ghost town every single night. Now, Mateo's a student. He's curious. So at first, he probably just thinks it's some quirky local custom. He has no idea his little research trip is about to get seriously dark. It all starts with something small. He's in his room one night, and he hears this faint noise, kind of like fabric dragging on the cobblestones outside. So he peeks out the window, and way down the dark street, he sees this figure, a woman, all in white. And just as he's thinking, weird, she's just gone, vanished. Okay, so the next night, things get a whole lot creepier. He finds wet footprints on the totally dry street, and they're leading from his guest house all the way toward the old cemetery. So, Mateo, part of him is terrified, but part of him just has to know. He follows the footprints. They lead him right into the spooky old cemetery, to a broken-down wedding arch. And there she is, the woman in the tattered white dress. But this is the part that chills him to the bone. As he gets closer, he realizes her feet are floating. They aren't touching the ground. Yeah, so as you can imagine, he's totally freaked out. He needs answers, right? So the next day, he talks to the old caretaker at the guest house. And that's when he finally hears the story. Turns out, way back in 1889, a young woman named Isabella Romero was supposed to get married right there, under that same arch. But her groom, Javier, he was a no-show. He actually ran off with another woman on their wedding night. So Isabella just waited all night long in her wedding dress. The next morning, they found her dead. The story goes, she died of a broken heart. And that's how the legend of the corpse bride started. The ghost of Isabella, wandering the town, still waiting for the guy who jilted her. And it looks like our guy Mateo has just stumbled right into her sights. So this isn't just some distant ghost story anymore. It's getting personal. And the spirit, she's not staying in the cemetery. That very night, it all comes to his room. First, this awful smell hits him, like wet dirt and dead flowers. Then a shadow passes under his locked door. The doorknob starts to turn, all by itself. And when he finally gets the courage to look at his window, her face is right there, staring in at him. Okay, Mateo is beyond terrified. He bolts, he runs to the local priest. Who else are you going to go to, right? But after Mateo tells him everything, the priest doesn't look sympathetic. He just asks this one single question, and it changes everything. And you can just imagine the look on Mateo's face. His blood just runs cold, because he remembers the first time he went to the cemetery, before he even knew the story, he saw some dried flowers by that wedding arch. And without even thinking about it, he picked them up, just a little souvenir. The priest basically tells him, you messed up, big time. By taking those flowers, he made a connection. Now Isabella's spirit thinks he's Javier. She thinks her groom has finally come back for her. And the priest's warning is absolutely clear. Get out of this town tonight, or she will never ever let you go. So, total panic mode. Mateo sprints back to the guest house, just starts throwing stuff in his bag, but, a jilted ghost bride isn't going to let her groom get away a second time. As he's scrambling to pack, this crazy storm just erupts out of nowhere. The lights in the guest house start flickering, and then black, total darkness. And then a huge flash of lightning lights up the entire room. And for just that 1 second, he sees her. She's not outside anymore. She's in the room with him, right there.
Then a scream, a single terrified scream cuts through the sound of the storm, and then, just as suddenly, it stops.
The caretaker runs to Mateo's room, but it's too late. The story is over. He finds the room totally empty. Mateo's bags are still there, half-packed. The window is just hanging open. Mateo himself, gone. It isn't until hours later, when the storm finally breaks, that they find him. His body is back in the cemetery, lying right under that broken wedding arch, covered in wet earth. So Mateo didn't just stumble upon a local legend. He became the ending. After more than 100 years of waiting, the dead bride finally had her groom. And that really leaves you with a creepy thought, doesn't it? It makes you wonder how many of these old legends are more than just stories. How many quiet little towns out there have a dark secret that only comes out after the sun goes down?